classical physics and quantum physics within the framework of mathematical reality. Foundational epistemological principles in the model of unification. 1. Metaphysical foundations, intelligence, logic, and intuition. Within the framework of the model of unification, equality, and equivalence between cosmic levels, it is necessary to establish a set of foundational epistemological concepts that underpin the interpretation of physical reality. Among these, the notions of intelligence, logic, and intuition play a central role. Intelligence is understood as an essential attribute of the cosmic senso-intelligent entity, ESI, the generative principle responsible for the structure and dynamics of the universe. By correspondence across cosmic scales, this faculty is also present in higher-level intelligent beings, such as humans. Intelligence consists fundamentally in the capacity to generate simple elements endowed with complementary properties and, subsequently, to combine them into more complex and structured systems exhibiting enhanced emergent characteristics. This same constructive principle is observable in human activity. Simple elements, such as stones or manufactured bricks, are assembled into higher-order structures, such as buildings. Mechanical components are integrated into complex systems such as vehicles, and discrete parts are organized into coherent configurations, as in the assembly of a puzzle. This reflects a universal structural logic operating across all cosmic levels. Logic, as a functional component of intelligence, is the faculty that identifies the properties of constituent elements and determines the correct relationships of complementarity required for their integration into coherent systems. It governs the consistency of structure formation, ensuring that each element is placed according to its intrinsic characteristics and functional compatibility. Intuition, in its rigorous sense, should not be confused with arbitrary conjecture. Rather, it constitutes a subordinate and indirect manifestation of intelligence and logic operating at the subconscious level. It emerges when the available information is incomplete and the cognitive system proposes tentative solutions based on partial structural coherence. However, due to the limited availability of explicit data, intuitive conclusions must always be subjected to logical verification and empirical validation. This clarification is essential, as contemporary quantum physics frequently characterizes certain interpretations as counterintuitive. Within the perspective of the present model, such characterizations often reflect not a limitation of human intuition, but rather a deviation from coherent logical and physical principles. That is, interpretations derived from inconsistent or incomplete logical frameworks are reclassified as counterintuitive, thereby obscuring their lack of structural and empirical consistency. 2. The nature of mathematics in physical reality. A rigorous application of mathematics within physical science requires a prior clarification of its ontological status. In the present model, mathematics is defined as a formal language that employs numerical values and operations, rather than words and grammatical structures, to describe, quantify, and relate the properties of physical systems. Mathematics, therefore, is not an intrinsic constituent of physical reality, but a representational tool. It enables the measurement and formalization of physical phenomena, expressing relationships between magnitudes in a precise and operational manner. However, as a language, it possesses no inherent guarantee of truth. Its validity depends entirely on its correspondence with the physical structures and laws it seeks to describe. This implies that mathematical formulations may either faithfully represent physical reality or diverge from it. The same symbolic system can produce results that are internally consistent yet physically meaningless if not properly grounded in empirical and structural principles. An illustrative analogy may be drawn from literary expression. Just as Don Quixote reflects the conceptual world of Cervantes, mathematical equations reflect the conceptual constructions of their authors. In this sense, the Schrödinger equation represents a formalization of a particular theoretical perspective. However, within the framework of the model of unification, such formulations are considered insufficient insofar as they do not fully incorporate well-established physical principles, including gravitomagnetic interaction, centrifugal and centripetal equilibrium, field polarity, rotational spin, and the structured distribution of orbital systems in accordance with harmonic geometric relations based on pi. 3. Mathematics and physical reality, a principle of subordination. A critical methodological principle of the model of unification is that mathematics must remain subordinate to physical reality. The cosmos is constituted by structured physical systems governed by invariant laws, whose validity is established through observation, coherence, and reproducibility across cosmic scales. Mathematical expressions must therefore be derived from, and constrained by, these physical laws. Their role is to provide accurate measurement, representation, and predictive capability, but always in strict accordance with the underlying physical parameters. The inverse approach, namely, attempting to force physical reality to conform to abstract mathematical formulations, constitutes a fundamental methodological error. Such an inversion leads to theoretical constructions that may possess internal formal elegance, yet lack correspondence with the actual structure and dynamics of the universe. For this reason, the uncritical elevation of mathematics to the status of an absolute arbiter of truth, veritas, without rigorous examination of its physical consistency, is epistemologically unsound. A comprehensive scientific approach must always allow for the possibility of error, inconsistency, or insufficiency, mendation, within mathematical formulations. 4. Conclusion. Toward a physically grounded mathematical framework. Within the model of unification, the correct application of mathematics requires its full integration with physical principles governing the cosmic structure. Mathematical relations must emerge from the equilibrium of forces, the geometric harmonic organization of systems, and the equivalence between microcosmic and macrocosmic levels. Only under these conditions can mathematics serve as a reliable instrument for the description and understanding of the universe. It is not the cosmos that adapts to mathematical constructs, but mathematics that must adapt to the structural, dynamic, and hierarchical reality of the cosmos.